Good evening, Tottenham fans. Tottenham Hotspur as a club are a mess at the moment. Absolute mess. From the top to the bottom, there is so much wrong with this club. It's unreal. They haven't even got clear strategies, which they're even admitting now on, on posts. And when the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust are actually speaking to them, they're admitting gaping holes in what they're supposed to be doing. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about how Tottenham can be fixed, how Tottenham can improve, how Tottenham can start to compete again. For me, it's very, very simple. But I think for ENIC, it seems like it's the most difficult thing in the world to do. They keep gaslighting us and lying to us that they want to compete in all 4 competitions, but they never seem to do anything about it. And they never seem to back that up with anything that I've even seen them do since they've said about doing that. So in today's video, let me just go through some of the things that I would do to fix Spurs and what Spurs need to do. And to be fair, what lots of other teams do, and we just seem to be left behind. Remember, we're the 9th richest club in the world. We should not be where we are, and we should not be sitting in 16th in the Premier League. That's for sure. So some of these might seem obvious to you, but for me, I just needed to get it off my chest because for me, this is so simple and I just don't understand why they don't do it. Now, first of all, we need to invest in the medical department. I know it sounds simple, but what I mean by investing, we keep talking about money, we keep talking about buying players, but sometimes when you invest in other things, structures, medical departments and all this sort of thing, it really does make a difference. Now, we've got the money to pay the top people in the world. We can get world-class medical department in if we wanted to. And the fact that we don't, and we're going cheap even on this, excuse me, really irritates me that we haven't got the top experts showing us how to get players fit. Mickey van der Ven, for example, had to get his own physio team in to help him with his injuries rather than use Tottenham's one. Christian Romero was known not to use Tottenham's medical department because he said it wasn't good enough. You know, so that's not good enough for the 9th richest club in the world. We need to improve the medical department massively, invest in the top guys around the world, and you will improve fitness. 100% you will. Another one that seems obvious to most Spurs fans, but it doesn't seem obvious to ENIC, is increase the wage cap. Now, we're capped at around £200,000, which I think is Christian Romero's. But if you look at any other club, they're spending way more than that. Aston Villa's wages are higher than ours, and we bring in probably treble or maybe quadruple the amount of revenue than they do. So how is it not possible for us to not compete with the likes of Aston Villa, the likes of Arsenal, the likes of City, the likes of Chelsea? We should be able to compete with everyone when it comes to that. Our profit to wage structure is the lowest out of the big 6 and lowest if you compare it to profit margin. So it's not good. It needs to improve massively. If you improve that, I'm not saying like just give any player 300 grand a week or 400 grand a week, because that would just mean if they're not good enough, we're going to find it 10 times harder to sell them. I don't mean it in that aspect. I mean, if you can like get 5 or 6 players in that for 150 grand a week, top players, I mean, for 150 grand a week, and give them incentives to say in 2 years time, if you meet your KPIs that we set you, you can go on to 300 grand a week, you know, in a new improved contract. Rather than say to them, no, we're not going any more than 200 grand. We don't want you, because now we're missing out on players because of this. And it's really hindering our growth going forward as well. So next up, we should appoint a top manager and stick with him. Now, I know people are like, yeah, but you wanted Thomas Frank sacked. Yes, but he wasn't a top manager. He came from Brentford. He had no experience of managing a top club before. It went downhill very, very quickly, and fans quickly realized he wasn't up to the task. I mean, hire a top manager. Now, the top managers I'm thinking of is like someone like Nagelsmann, Tuchel. You could sign Jurgen Klopp. I know he wouldn't come, but I'm just saying top managers off the top of my head. I think Pochettino would be an absolute brilliant signing for Spurs, and it's one of the managers out of the ones I've mentioned that would want to come and join Spurs, and he would love to be with us. But we need to appoint a top manager and stick with him and back him. That's the main thing. Back him. Don't just bring him in and say you've got to do everything and you've got to change the world for Spurs again. You've got to give him the right players. And to do that, you're going to have to do this as well. Create a clear playing style and philosophy. Make sure that we are playing the Tottenham way, which nobody even remembers what that is anymore, but it's attacking football. No holds bars. To dare is to do, go for a win in every single game. That is the Tottenham way, and play attractive football. And if a manager doesn't fit that criteria, then don't hire him. Like we hired Conte, Jose, Nuno, and now Thomas Frank. None of them fit that philosophy. So set a clear philosophy and playing style and stick to it. Not only that, it doesn't matter what manager you have, or even if you're managerless, you can still sign players because you have that clear playing style and philosophy. See what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter who is in charge. You are going to buy the same sorts of players anyway because they fit that criteria. And that means we need to build genuine squad depth. Now, look at the teams at the top at the moment. The scum are at the top at the moment because they've got 2 quality players for every position. Manchester City, the same. Liverpool are not far off that. And they're always there or thereabouts because they're building 2 quality players for every position. So even if you had a major injury crisis like we have, we would still have quality players to step in and step up. So that's genuinely important. But if you need to do that, you need to invest and you need to buy top players. We can't keep focusing on buying teenagers on every window. We've got many teenagers at the moment. Also, this is very important. Focus on leadership and culture at the club. Who's walked around the stadium, in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Where's all the trophies? Every trophy that we've won should be out and proud. It should be everywhere saying, this is Tottenham, this is what we've won. Where's the 8 FA Cups? Where's the 3 Europa Leagues that we've won? You know, where's the 4 League Cups? Where's the 2 league titles that we've won? They're not broadcasted anywhere in the stadium. Where's the statues of our top players? Where's the statues? There's no history of the culture of winning at Spurs, but we have had a culture of winning and it's not being broadcasted in the stadium enough. So we need to focus on leadership and culture. We need to make sure that anybody that's going to be the captain of this club or the manager of this club or the DOF of this club or the chairman of this club, they all need to have that winning mentality and they all need to speak like winners at all times. We don't want managers coming in saying, we will lose games. We don't want that. Look at Igor when he came in now. He goes, I do not play to lose. I do not play to draw. I play to win. And that's what we want. We want people like that at our club. We want to win games. We want to win trophies. We want to win titles eventually. And if you don't have that leadership and culture of winning at your club, you're never going to get it. You just won't. We have to make sure it's not okay to lose. Remember what Harry Kane said? It's okay to lose at Spurs. It's not okay to lose at Bayern. Why can't we have that? We're the 9th richest club in the world, one of the biggest teams in the world. Why can't we just change our culture? Why? Commit to a project and make it clear to the players and the fans. So what I mean by this is we need to make sure that the fans, the players, the manager, the board, everybody is aligned to say in 5 years' time, we're going to go for the Premier League title or however long they think it's going to be. And in that 5-year time, this is the plan. We're going to build a squad. We're going to build up the academy. I'll get to that in a minute. We're going to build a winning culture. We're going to show the fans that we mean business. We're going to spend money. We're going to increase the wages. We're going to do all this. And on the way to that 5-year plan where we're eventually going to lift the Premier League title. Why are you not brave enough to dare us to do, but you're not brave enough to commit to a plan to win a title? Why can't you do that? Arsenal were mid-table side about 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. Now look where they are now, challenging for titles because they did exactly that. They bring Arteta in, stuck with him, and said, this is a clear plan, and this is what we're going to do. We need to have the same sort of philosophy, same sort of to dare is to do attitude, and we will succeed. But we need to have the balls. And at the moment, the people that own us have not got the balls. Now, build scouting networks as well. And what I mean by this is, instead of Yoang Lang just going around on his phone talking about what players are available, being reactive to injuries rather than proactive in the 5 months prior, maybe you should build scouting networks around the world that are scouting for you, and you're on the phone to them saying, who have you got for me this week? Have them all around the world. You will find top players before anybody else does, and that decreases the chances. If you spending 100 million on a player, you could bring a player in from, let's say, an African league or something like that for, I don't know, for 5 million, and he's 22 years old and he's an absolute unit, fast as anything, scores goals for fun, and we've got him for 5 million. 5 years time, sell him on for 100 million. This sort of scouting network would be massive for Spurs, but the way they scout and do anything at this club is pathetic. Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth have all got better scouting networks than we have, all of them, and it shouldn't be the case. We've got enough money to spend on the best scouts in the world, and we're not doing it. So again, we're failing in that department. Another place I think we're failing is at the academy. If we use the academy by creating pathways, and what I mean by this is we should always create a pathway for the academy to break through. Now, what I mean is, if you go back on what I said about the playing style and philosophy, drill that into the academy so they're already playing like that before they even get to the first team. Make incentives into contracts, as if to say the top academy players will get a certain amount of minutes a season. That would be absolutely insane, you know, so they know they're going to get minutes. Give them incentives to be in the first team. Make sure that at least 5 to 10 academy players are training with the first team and learning and growing with them. This loan thing is not a bad idea, but don't loan them out from the age of 17 to 22 and then just let them go on a free, because that's just a waste of time. If an academy player is not good enough within the top in the first 18 months to 2 years, and you don't think he's going to, and all you're going to do is keep loaning them out, then sell these players, move them on, bring the next academy players in, see if they can develop and see if, but you need to make a pathway for them. You need to make it clear. This is the standard we need you to be at academy level. If you hit that standard, this is guarantee you to be have first team action. Also, what this does for Spurs is if they do get into the first team, they become very, very good players. That decreases us spending again. So again, it's helping the club by being proactive, not reactive. See what I'm saying? So the club think by not spending, they're saving money, but also if they spent money in the right areas, they would actually profit from it a lot more. So I'm not sure what's going through this Tottenham board at the moment, but I don't know what's going through their brains. I mean, and it's very frustrating to watch from the outside when you know the things they need to be doing, and you even question them, like the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, question them on these things, and all they do is gaslight and lie and say the right things at the right time, but then don't do nothing action-wise to do anything. So it's very frustrating. All the things I mentioned today would work, and it is possible, and we can afford it. There's actually no excuse not to do any of these things. It's just really frustrating that they don't, and I don't know why. And I think us fans need to push on this board a lot more than we are, because they seem to be getting away with a hell of a lot at the moment, a hell of a lot. They're not interested in football at the moment. They do not seem interested. And it might not even be that. They might not even know how to run a football club. They might not even know how many football people are at this club. They need to bring football people into this club to push this on another level, because we will go backwards and backwards. And I've said this in a previous video. We will eventually get relegated if this club keep acting the way they're acting and nothing changes. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's video. Do you think I'm being over the top, or do you think I've got a point here? Do we need to do more in the background to build this squad up? Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.